As a result of recent missing persons cases, the police department has discovered a car that was next to a trapdoor. The hatch has led to a completely unknown catacomb system that was hidden under rural Nebraska. It is believed these were owned by Native American tribes from the area in the late 1700s. The college students in the missing persons report were found dead in one of the tombs. You are to hastily clean up the area before tomorrow. Hi, thank you for joining me. We have another map by Zero. Ooh, it's got a bit of, Welcome to Tony's party. Welcome to my epic party. Come in, grab a beer, and look at this cool place I found. I'm sure no otherworldly spirits will awaken and maim us all. Funny. Alright. Okay, bunch of jam everywhere. All over that place. Do ourselves a favor. Get rid of this. Low ceiling, so I'm more comfortable about burning things. Go away. At least so far, I noticed suddenly we have a ladder, so we may not have low things. Everyone's doing well. We got Tony Fredrickson. Uh-oh, poor cheerleader. Wanted to be part of the party. There was. Did I mention this was another map by Zero? I suddenly don't. Oh. The ceilings were not as low as I thought they were. Something walked on the ceiling, though. I'm just goofing off, sorry. What is this? Small map. It's only about 45 minutes. Oop. Orly. Nathan. Hey. Oh, no. I thought that was a custom skin. But... Oh, no! Whoops. That's what I get for being throwing happy. trivia. Ugh, all the bases. All the bases. Where's that mop? Where's the mop machine? Did I walk past it? Possibility. Oh, I think this is... No, it's not Freddy's hand. I forgot. I think this is the collectible, but I forgot whose hand it was. And I also noticed... so collectibles from mostly the Halloween map so far. Don't see straight storage yet. Machine. For anyone that's new to these series, hi, welcome. I don't ever turn on the music in the game. If I decide that it needs music, I will add it afterwards. Yeah, it's all the Halloween collectibles. Player-made maps are the best maps for getting the collectibles, in case you missed them. But anyway, I don't play the music in the game. Okay, that's pretty clever. That was pretty. I liked it. Strangely, oh, there's a step. Sorry. ADHD today. Okay, so I'll finish the story. Maybe. In 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Some of the Viscera music strangely keeps getting flagged for copyright. Now, it's fake copyright. I guess it's like Ed Sheeran's latest problem. It shares just 3 seconds of whatever the music is that it says, but enough that YouTube will flag it. And, just no one wants to mess with it. So, I just don't. Hey, lady. Ooh. That's a rapid fire there. Up there. Alright. So I'm going to tattletale on myself. I am working at the moment. But my other job is being really quiet. I work from home. And the other job is being really quiet. So, I'm doing this at the same time. If you ever... Sometimes that means I have to wander away for a quick minute. Which, wandering away is just me tabbing to another window. That's a dead bucket. A dead bucket. That's just kicking around. Joy of my life when I'm trying to be clean and messy. Yeah. In real life, too. Is it really Viscera if you're not making a bigger mess than what you started off with? Pretty clever. I'm actually really enjoying this map. It's such a mix of Halloween and the regular. Ooh. Ooh. What I'm trying to do is make a path so the closable. And just knock that piece of licorice underneath the, if you ever hear me call the parts by different names, so I talk about it every video, and I'm sorry for my longtime viewers. YouTube started to flag my Viscera videos as being mature, which makes me laugh because I'm cleaning up the mess. I'm not making the mess. Well, I mean, that's arguable, but I'm cleaning it up. I'm making it better. But apparently, some of the stuff's a little too realistic. And the best I could figure it out is that they're flagging it by also, not just by appearance, but by words. And I have a feeling it's more by words than it is by appearance. And so as soon as I started calling them by code names, it's left me alone. It hasn't really flagged my videos. The other thing I do too is you'll notice that the thumbnails will never show anything from the mess. It's usually the cleaned up room, not the messy room. Even though I know dang well that the messy room makes more of a clickbaity thumbnail, but you know, we do what we have to do to appease the YouTube gods, the overlords. Anyway. For the most part, I don't mind. It's just, it's frustrating because you know that there is worse videos out there that are getting through it. For example, this is going to be a tangent, I'm not sorry. A few years ago, my father, who has never really touched computers in his life, I got him a cell phone, and loves it. He fought us really hard on it, the whole family. But for both, my mom not so much. My mom has been pretty embracing of technology her whole life. But my dad was like, I don't need that newfangled stuff. This includes also a microwave. He fought us on a microwave for a while. Anyway, that was years ago. He's loved the microwave, but so he's fought us a little bit on technology, and I think it's mostly just the pain and the hassle of learning something new. It's not that he doesn't dislike the technology. It's just it's always if you don't know it, you don't know it. And what you don't know that you don't know, you don't know, type of thing. And so I taught him how to use YouTube. Because one of his favorite things to do is look up music. He absolutely he loves that. He adores that. He came from the generation where if you wanted to look up music, you had to hope that it came on the radio. Anyway, so I taught him how to use YouTube, and it became he uses YouTube all the time. All the time. And one of the fairly newest things that he's been doing is he likes to tell jokes to his friends. He's retired now, but he and his former work buddies, go out and eat a couple of times. They eat breakfast together, the whole thing. They choose a place and then they go, and sometimes it's nearby, sometimes they travel for it. It's a thing. They make me laugh. And so he likes to look up dirty jokes. I kid you not. The dirtier, the better. To tell his former work buddy. And he has turned to YouTube for that. And there is a whole niche of channels telling dirty jokes. And they get kind of vulgar. Actually, they get quite vulgar. Now, in some instances, they'll replace the words with, the non, I guess, vulgar version of it, as close as they can get away with it. And it's never a person doing it. It's always an AI reading off the joke, which I think adds to the hilarity to me. But all of those channels, none of them are flagged. And I know this because he actually doesn't have a YouTube account. He's just watching it as a guest. And so if they were flagged, you have to be signed in to prove that you're 18. And so I know that they're not flagged. So it's that kind of things where I'm like, how is the vulgar jokes not a problem? Anyway, I told you I was going to go on a tangent. But yeah, it just makes me laugh. I'm like... And for a man who kind of fought us on it, he uses it more than, well, I would say more than me, but that's not true. I'm on YouTube all the time, clearly. His still favorite thing, though, is to look up just random songs. Like, one of the things that I used to do for him years ago was he would hear a song that he loved on a TV show, and he wanted to know who it was by. And so then you would, look it up, whatever. And I used to do that for him all the time. Now he does that all on his own. His other favorite, he's such a teenager too on YouTube. He watches the pranks, and he watches people getting, scaring each other on there all the time. But he also watches like his soldiers coming home videos, the puppy videos. Yeah, it makes me laugh. It's pretty adorable. Of course. Everyone stares their licorice on the shelf. Gotta get this, because that's a meat chunk right there. Ugh, my stuff. It's also super early in the morning. I've been sleeping really well. The insomnia is yes, calmed down. For any of those also new to my channel. How I got into YouTube, or one of the things that caused me to do YouTube, is I suffer from insomnia, and a lot of times it's self-induced. So stupid. Anyway, sometimes I take medication for it, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the situation. My problem with medication for it is that sometimes it will, or often, more often than not, it will cure it for a short period of time just simply by knocking me out. But then after I come off of it, it doesn't feel like I rested at all, nor does it cure the problem of why wasn't I sleeping in the first place. And a lot of times it's stress related. But I say that, and I always feel bad. I don't have a really stressful life, if I'm being honest. People have it 10 times worse than I do. My biggest is I'm self-employed, and I work, I don't know how many jobs, 5 off the top of my head. And, oop. I just pushed my face into that guy's face. How did I not knock that over? I don't know. Anyway. Sometimes that's my biggest stress, is just making sure I have enough time to do everything that I'm committed to doing. But I've never had, I guess now I should say, earlier in my career and pre-pandemic, there was times where I was like, am I ever going to make enough money that I'm going to be okay? And then the pandemic kicked off, and the pandemic, I owe the pandemic actually for a lot, for my YouTube, for my freelance work. It was kind of a kick in the pants incentive to take myself seriously, because my freelance work I was just doing alongside my other, like, box office job. I worked for a office supply store as a graphic artist slash printer. I think Kinko's, but not Kinko's. If I'll keep giving you hints, they're going out of business. Oh, maybe that doesn't help at all. Anyway, I worked for them for quite a few years. And then alongside of that, I was doing my freelance work, and then the pandemic hit, and I had health issues, and I was like, well, what am I gonna do? And the answer to that came to be take my freelance work a little bit more serious. And I do. Love the random body parts just chilling on the shelf with the vases and the candles. I admire map makers. I talk about this every time, but I admire map makers because I know how much work goes into making them, and then you have little old me coming through and finishing it in an hour. Oh. Curiosity, is there enough to take this and... I'm not speed running this either. I'm just kind of easily moseying along, doing my thing. Why? I binge watched Queen Charlotte this morning. Well, I guess actually it had been yesterday. I binge watched that, and when I got done, I loved the show. And when I got done, I was like, what is going on? Like, you know how you read something or you watch a good series, or even you play a really good long game, and it's like have a really in-depth story, and you finish, and I don't know, you feel like kind of disconnected for a minute until you can, you know, get back settled into the real world. That's what it was like for me. I actually read Julia Quinn's, excuse me, which is what the Bridgerton Queen Charlotte is all based off of. It's influenced, but it's mostly the characters, but the Bridgerton family is really based off of the books, but and some of the basic story, but a lot of it's Shonda Rhimes has taken liberties with the stories, which is fine. You know, it's an adaptation. And anyway, I really enjoyed it. I gotta decide when to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I am a bit hesitant. Well, I know I have to watch it, and I have to watch it sooner than later, because TikTok and Reddit's gonna ruin it for me either way. But I'm also told that it heavily features animal cruelty. It features animal cruelty, and I'm told that I need to be careful, because I am a big softie. That's where the ladder was coming in involved, wasn't it? But already, like, it wasn't even, I don't know, 6 hours, and there was already spoilers on TikTok in my scrolling experience, and I was like, no! I have, they were actually former co-workers from that office job. But while we were working together, we kind of formed a Marvel movie watching club, I guess. We would always go out every time Marvel came out with a new movie. We would go together to go watch it. And then after, I don't know. Can't remember which one. There's a big lull in the Marvel movies. And we decided to, as a group, we started watching bad movies, you know, movies that weren't that great, which, funny enough, was The Meg. We wouldn't watch that. We also watched Shazam, because, you know, we personally didn't like the movie, but it did so well that we were like, what happened? But we didn't like it. We thought it was pretty bad. We desperately wanted to like it, but it was hard for us. Let's see, we watched all the Star Wars. But anyway, as a group, we would always go and see that. And then after we stopped working together, even before the pandemic, people were leaving. It was a hard company to work for. It was your typical retail, and they paid you crap, but wanted you to work like they weren't paying you like crap. And anyway, so we continued on with our whole thing of watching. Is that a message? Hashtag 094? Or actually not sure what it's saying. Or is it just gibberish and my brain wants to see something? Anyway. But, some of my buddies, too, have health issues as well. And are being very cautious when it comes to being out in public. And at this point, it doesn't even have to do with the pandemic. It just has to do with that we've been so healthy since we've been taking extra measures that we're like, oh, why ruin it? I wasn't making it any better than it was his butt. Yeah, see? I'm surprised it doesn't feature the horror map names. I am finding the drop thing be clever. I love it when I'm not cleaning. Oh, well, that's it. I just realized those one broken vases, I don't recognize seeing those anywhere in the game. I mean, you would think with as many hours as I put into the game I would recognize them, but this one here. Unless, oh, is it one of the vases that were already broken, pre-broken from the Asian map? The Shadow Warrior one. I will admit the Shadow Warrior map is the least one that I ever find a reason to do. I used to do the Halloween map every Halloween. I actually find player-made maps more in line to the Halloween map than I actually do the Halloween map. The Halloween map is cheesy and fun. You know, it's a fun cheese. Where the a lot of player-made maps, there's some that are really genuinely scary. Cannon Fodder has some really good Halloween maps. Which, anyone seen Cannon Fodder lately? Missed them. But anyway, they had some really good ones. There was the every time I think of them, there's the orphanage one that they had. There was an apartment one that they had. There was also a house one that they did that legit got me a jump scare. It was you walked into the basement and you walked into the back room and the door closed and the lights went off. And it flipped to a horrifying one. Like there was writing on the wall and stuff. That one was a lot of fun. There was also, they did a version of a small insane asylum that I thought was pretty creepy. But yeah, they had some really fun ones for Halloween that I tend to do for the channel. I've done them all now, but... Guess who's gonna be lazy? Smack everything onto the floor. The last thing I want to do is get a ladder. Come on. Void Train comes out in a few days. I do plan on playing that solo and maybe hopefully with a group of friends as well. The same friends that I played Raft with. We're hoping to sync up our time. I'm the one that ruined it because I took a night job. And while I work the night job after they go to sleep, I'm actually sleeping during their active playtime. So I had to ruin it, but I think we can sync something up. Because we were all as a group really excited to play that. And they also really want to play Grounded too, the 1.0 Grounded. Why? There we go. Naughty little piece of licorice. I almost called that by its real name. So was it just on the shelf, stored for later? I'm gonna need a bucket. Bucket. I'm getting sleepy. Viscera is one of the games that I do like to play to calm my brain down, to make me sleepy. So every time I do play it, I have to be careful because it is a game. I don't know, I guess just chills the noise in my head. I get sleepy, I just want to nap. That door right there. Oh, piece of skull behind that box. There. No, he's done. Look at the stacking. Emily Sockworth. Remy. I do try to stack in every map, but I do have very little patience when it comes to stacking, so if it's difficult, then I won't. Poorly. Avia. Got this. I did that on purpose, I promise. Because buckets make a really good storage of PIDs, personal identifying devices or identification devices. There we go. And every time I do the stacking, I always start off with the best intention to stack them neatly. And then I know that, like, shortly my brain's like, never mind. And I just start chucking them. And as long as they're in the square, I'm happy. There we go. Okay, we have a Carl. A Carl or Kari? I just bag of I'm not even gonna comment. There. Oh, there's the... And one last name badge because I chucked it in the fire. there. I mean, would you really want to keep these boxes if you found them down at a back tomb of angry indigenous people's little torture cave? I mean, I guess we don't know if it's the indigenous people's torture cave. It could be why they're angry. Someone took their nice little burial site and turned it into a tomb. Torture chamber, I mean. The ambient noise of the monster's tummy grumbling. Every time I hear it, I always think of monster tummy grumbling. My tummy has the grumbles that only hands can satisfy. Only fair. Grab the bag of chips. I heard it. Did not. There. Thank you. Oh my god. Fall down. I think there's one more. Oh. Found it. Did it? Oh. Alright, so now onto the hallway. Why are you freaking out? Stop freaking out. What did I do with my bucket? Not that one. Oh, there it is. Just blends in with the gray wall. There. Tuck this in this corner. Bad meatball. Really bad meatball. We are getting someplace. Anyway, it looks like we're making progress. Oh, I actually didn't mean to toss that. Such a habit. Alright, big guy. So I'm gonna grab this. Nice candlelit fire. Creating a nice little ambiance in this hallway. Oh, that would have been so funny if it would have taken care of it for me, but no, it did not. Oop. Don't roll under that shelf. I'm gonna pick you back up. So many stomachs. Why was there so many stomachs on the shelf? Or are they livers? I'm actually not sure. No, they look like stomachs. Yeah. In and out tubes. Oh. Right. The laziest way of cleaning that up. Oh, accidentally tossed that behind the bucket. Trying to put it in the bucket. Okay. Ah, these statues. Super glowy in that. Then that is not the direction you were supposed to go. I lose a piece. I feel like I lost a piece. It'll turn out. Right? It'll turn out. Forget all about that lightsaber, and I'm gonna leave it there. I do love the absolute mayhem that happens when you're busting them apart. Alright. Bucket! Starting to do that spaced out thing where I forget that I'm recording. And it's just me picking up stuff. I'm tripping on something. I'm wet though. I don't know, I'm tripping on the proximity of the ladder or what? Things got really weird in the hallway. You can do it. way go. George, just sit right there for me. Susie, you two go right there. With the Jones? What's going on? I got very trippy suddenly. Something was walking on the ceiling. So close to being done. I'm getting impatient with it. Using it as a garbage collector. press against the wall or they'll go flying. Unbeknownst to you guys, I wandered off and had a cinnamon roll. Very good. Homemade cinnamon roll. Now I feel a little more pep in my step. So games coming this week is going to be Shadows of Doubt. I'm going to give that another try. It kept breaking for me, but according to the patch notes, they fixed what was broken. There's also the Witch of Fern Island. I'll be playing a new DLC for the Case of the Golden Idol. That's going to be a pretty short game. The DLC looks pretty short. I know I'm missing something. I have a whole list. I think I've started off the month with 19 games to play. And that does include Viscera. So what I do to keep myself, I guess, on track is the beginning of the month, I always have a list of games that I know for sure I'm going to be playing. Some of it's carryover, from the previous month. Or ongoing games such as Viscera, House Flipper, Hotel Renovator, that kind of thing. But then there's also games that I am going to try to play, and then games that I know that I need to play because I promised the developers that I would. Is usually how my thing works. Fuck's all the way in the bagan. There. Here. Away. The water. And then as new games approach in the month, too, such as Void Train, and I think there's another game called Panorama that comes out on Tuesday, which I'm actually not 100% sure when this video is going up. See, it's probably going to be Sunday morning. My love for House Flipper has been renewed because of the ability to do expansions. You can now expand on existing buildings. And now my imagination has been going crazy trying to figure out everything that I want to do for that. So that's on the list. What else? And I'll get that. Oh yeah, Mystery Case Files, Conrad, Coffee Talk, Mail Time, and of course Viscera. I think that's it. I think that. Oh no. The poor one vase that survived it, and it was like, oh gosh. I see a... Alright, have to make that. There. Yak. Uh, 2-0. I do applaud you. I've noticed your notes have been in the theme of Viscera. You know, like the tongue-in-cheek, like, yeah, come here. I'm sure the ghost won't kill us. That is a very Viscera storyline. It's ludicrous but funny, you know, like and it works. Like, it makes sense. It is so stupid. I love it. Oh, there you go. Alright. Oh, there it was. That was bad. That was more than one candle that went flying. Water, the water, you know, mom. This. No! Sesame. Are you freaking out? Are you alright? That looks like something to pick up, but I guess not. Okay. Good. The name badges, and then we'll do a quick sniff test. Okay. I thought I'd left some name badges on a shelf, but did I grab them? Apparently I did. Alright. Yep, that would do it. Me. Hey. Stop being broken. Or glitched. I mean, you're gonna be broken, but stop being glitched for me. Okay. Done. Hey, we were promoted. I'll take it. I'll take my promotion. 99%. Oh, there's trash somewhere. All right. Well, I'll take it. Thanks, guys, for giving me company. I'll be back with more.